All right, guys, we got Moon Urson and Queen Egbo with Coach. Jerry, whenever you are ready, start us off and use the raise hand feature, please.
We put Nalissa Smith on her. Nalissa Smith was chosen preseason player of the year, and my mind hasn't changed. Nalissa plays on a team that has a lot of talented players around her, and she doesn't, score 40 and 50 a night against some teams. What she does is get double-doubles for you, and she almost had a double-double tonight. And I think that as you've watched our team grow the last 2 to 3 weeks, guys, we're not about any one individual. This team is about a lot of players. You had 4 scoring double figures today. I thought our defense was outstanding, not just on Collier, but on their other players. We hit a stretch there. We couldn't score. It was not a game that you're watching on TV and go, whoo, man, that's entertaining. You got to really love basketball to watch some defensive things that were done today to stay with it. Well, yeah, one of the ways to beat Texas was to not give them an extra shot, keep them off the offensive boards. And I told the guards they have to help us rebound. And I thought not only Moon being small and Queen was just a warrior. I mean, if Queen plays like that every night, just rebounding, putbacks, defending, we can take it to another level. When Queen can dominate like that, and then you can put in a list on players that like a Collier. But I thought that we were not disturbed by any pressure from them. You know, Vic likes to press in full court. I never really saw it today, so none of that factored in. We had too many turnovers. I mean, both teams did, but it was basically a glorified scrimmage, if that's a good way to put it. You had no fans other than your own families in the gym. You had referees and national television. So I've never played in a setting like that.
All right, Andrew.
Coach, this was Coach Schaefer's first year at Texas. It was the first matchup between you guys while he's at Texas. What was that exchange like after the game?
Well, the exchange was we were talking about something non-basketball related. Vic and I go back a long way. There's a mutual respect there, and there will always be, no matter who wins which game, no matter what the rivalry is. Nobody's going to create any hate between the two coaches because we've been around the game a long time. We've been humbled by this game, and we've been glorified by this game. And he's a family man. When his son had a water accident several years ago and was in critical condition, I made sure I texted or called him. And then when I got COVID, he called me when Kramer was playing baseball at LSU and went to Mississippi State and played. He and I sat in the stands. I drew up an inbounds play with him. So there's mutual respect there, and this is his first year, and Vic Schaefer was hired for a reason, and that's to win and win championships, and give him time.
And I actually had the privilege of watching this game with my family tonight. They were blown away by your jackets. They were asking me to ask you, is that custom made for you, or where can they get that?
Well, no, it's not custom made, but it sure cost a pretty penny. So if they want it, they can send me the money, and I'll be glad to send it to them. Look, it was really about K-Yow, cancer. We all are affected by cancer in our personal lives, and I got the opportunity to play for K-Yow. She was my assistant Olympic coach in 1984, and this was her game today. And I just thought it was appropriate because what I'm wearing underneath it, all of my coaches had it on, but it's short sleeve. And guys, I don't know if you've checked lately, but the weather outside is pretty chilly. So I said, I'm too old to freeze during a basketball game. So I put on this jacket, and it was appropriate.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, Chad, then back to Jerry.
You guys were able to generate a little
We just needed to hit some shots. We kind of, I don't want to say laughed about it, but we do we make fun of ourselves sometime in timeouts. It's like, what do y'all want to run? Because we can't seem to score the ball. You that tired? What do you want to run? So we just laugh about it. But yeah, we hit enough big shots. We hit enough buckets. We got enough rebounds. We control the basketball game, and that's all that matters. And like I said, it's another victory for our program this year on our way to try to win our 11th straight conference championship. It by no means means that we will, but we got the game in, and I thought that we pretty much control the game.
Excellent, thanks.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Moon for you. Kim talked about offense struggled at times, but defense seems like it never let up. And I know that's your trademark, but talk about what y'all were able to do and maybe not getting frustrated by offense.
We just played team defense tonight. I think we were all over. We were helping the helper. We were guarding. And we was just everywhere. We was just very active, had our hands up, taking charges and stuff like that. So when you do that, it kind of creates an energy where you're not scoring the ball, but also they weren't scoring either. So in that situation, you just stick with what you know, and for us, that's defense.
And it looked like that you guys weren't having to help a lot on Collier. I mean, Melissa was just playing her straight up, wasn't she?
Yeah, she that's what she do. Lissa's great. We were there if she needed help, and she can hold her own. I mean, Melissa Smith is Linus Smith, and
Spit it out, Moon.
so but she did well tonight, and she's a great defensive player as well.
And Queen, for you, can you just talk about the way, particularly it seems like the last couple of games, maybe you got through some frustration before that, but it seems like you've really clicked and you're not fouling a lot either.
Yeah, I've definitely made fouling a priority. I want to stay in the game as long as possible, but I also want to be aggressive and, get offensive rebounds. I don't want to have to change my game to stay in the game. I want to be able to do what I do while staying out of foul trouble and altering shots. And I had to watch a lot of film with my coaches and just kind of think about what I'm doing and why I'm picking up my fouls. But I hope to continue this way and be aggressive and be able to hold the big girls and rebound with the big girls. And so that's what I was able to do tonight.
And Kim, for you, you mentioned Dee Dee about her assists, 10 tonight. She actually moved up to 4th all time, which is pretty hard to believe for one that really wasn't a point guard until this year.
Dee Dee's a competitor. Dee Dee will do whatever is in the best interest of her team, and she's just handled the point beautifully. There were a couple times tonight I wish she would have shot it, and I told her so. She gave herself an opportunity to score 2 layups, and then she didn't take them. She overpassed, or she went under the rim on the other end. Score the ball. When you pass the foul line, Dee Dee, go to score the ball. But 10 assists to 3 turnovers, playing 37 and a half minutes, that's outstanding.
All right, Chris, then Michelle.
Yeah, Queen, when you hear your coach, a few minutes ago at the start of the call saying the kind words about your performance, but also challenging you to do that night in and night out, how do you feel hearing that from her, and how does that change your approach every day practice in the games?
I mean, this isn't the first time Coach Mulkey has challenged me. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm not really a sensitive person. I like when people throw things at me. I feel like it makes me better. I like when people tell me negative stuff sometimes because it fuels my fire, and I just like that stuff. And I feel like Mulkey is the right person because she can do that, but she can also lift you up when you need to be. And so it showed tonight. Thank you for the words, but, she says stuff like that all the time. She challenges me all the time, so this was nothing new.
And on that same note, how do you and the girls kind of challenge each other also, coming from within the locker room?
Well, we had personal goals defensively. We knew we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to keep, certain players under a certain amount of points and rebounds, and we really worked, and we knew as a team that we could accomplish a lot of the things we did. And I feel like defensively you saw that on the court, and you saw us getting after it and rebounding and people like Moon, I mean, you got to kick her out the paint sometimes because she'll steal your rebounds, but it's cool.
Crazy.
All right, Michelle.
Yeah, Coach Mulkey, I was just wondering if you could expand a little bit on Nalissa, and especially, I mean, as good as we know she is, I just feel like she may be I don't want to say underrated, but in some ways it seems like that. And I guess today, what that showed to a national TV audience about how good a defensive player she is.
Well, people need to start talking about her and quit looking at stat sheets. I'm so tired of people voting for players of the year based on stats. Start looking at the champions of the league and go, what would that kid do on another team? And Nalissa Smith is the same player she was when she was a freshman and a sophomore with the big she had to play with. She went in and won basketball games for us. This could potentially have been a very difficult year for her because all the attention would be on her. I think she's handled it beautifully, and she's just a natural double every night. And I think people on the larger scene, as always, they get caught up in stats and points. How about looking at a winner? How about looking at a kid that does whatever it takes to win championships? And Nalissa Smith, she's going to have an outstanding career here, and she's going to have an outstanding pro career, and she's just gotten better and better every year. I don't know what else people want to see. How many girls can go up and catch a ball in midair and finish and contort their body the way she does? Not many. How many plays have you ever seen me do that for Cox or Kalani? You know, they can't go up there and do what she can do in the air.
And I also just wanted to ask you, you know, the top 16 reveal comes out tomorrow, and I know you always say, you know, you just kind of take it however it comes, but do you feel you guys you know, are gonna be at some point in there for a number one seed if you keep playing the way that you have been?
Well, I don't get to vote, Michelle. If you get to vote, I guess I can politic for it, but no. Heck, we got teams that lose that don't even drop. We got teams that lose to unranked teams and they don't even drop in the polls. So I don't, you know, I kind of sometimes laugh at that. You know, you have other teams that lose and they drop 2 and 3 points. I try, or two or three spots. I just really, I guess after 35 years of coaching, I quit investing in trying to figure all that out. The only thing I can control is my team. And I know that we're one of the top teams in the country that has the potential to win a national championship. I firmly believe that if we stay away from COVID and we stay healthy. I've watched a lot of basketball on TV this year because we can't, you know, that's all we can do, stay home and put our mask on and watch some ball games. And I've said this, there is no dominant team in women's basketball this year. There are outstanding teams, but there's no dominant team.
Thank you.
Smoke, then Nikki.
Kim, it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you mentioned that you were in kind of that grind mode, that you had all those missed practices and then a loss, and that you felt like you had to take it to another level. How has your team responded other than the obvious of winning?
Well, I think you've seen, well, no, you probably haven't because you're not in practice. You know, they can tell you it's been totally different than the ups and downs we had on, are we here today? How many tomorrow? Who, you know, COVID test. It's just been a complete 360 in what they're doing now because we've been on the floor every day. They're getting to know each other better on who needs a pass where, who can help here, talking more, just playing, just the ability to get on the practice floor every day and play in the games. It just makes you better.
If you don't mind a follow-up, have you given or talked to Scott at all about the pause, about what you went through? And I know they've had it before, but any kind of back and forth between the two of you?
No, we haven't. I think I texted him maybe one day to ask honestly about a COVID rule, about a COVID test after 90 days, but it wasn't basketball. Look, I'll say it now. Scott Drew has one heck of a basketball team, and he's got a chance to win his first Big 12 championship. He's got the players. He's got the depth. He's got, transfers that have experience. That matters this year, guys. That matters. And I guess if you look at it on Scott's, I guess if I were to look at it from Scott's point of view, is he's getting all the COVID out of the way. Because I think just a majority of his guys have had it. So he's getting it out of the way before the playoffs, which is contradictory to where I am. We haven't had but 3 or 4 kids that have had it. So I'm a nervous wreck from now till the playoffs because it could hit you at any time.
All right, Nikki, then back to Michelle if you got one more.
I know you said earlier when you were playing Texas Tech, you don't like to look too far ahead to the opponents in front of you, but there's a quick turnaround before you play West Virginia. How do you use this momentum to head into a tougher opponent?
We're going to enjoy tonight. We've already talked about what tomorrow could bring. Can we get up here in a gym and watch film and practice? I think we'll play that by ear and see what happens tomorrow. Their health and safety is most important, and I don't want them driving and sliding all over the roads. If the worst thing is we have to do a scouting report by Zoom tomorrow, we will do that. But again, West Virginia still has to fly here. I know they are used to this kind of weather, so I'm sure flying out of there is not going to be a problem. Can they get to Waco by Wednesday or Tuesday or whenever? Hopefully somebody will put some salt on a runway and we have a de-icing deal at the airport because they, I'm sure charter like we all do. But we're going to enjoy tonight and we'll figure out a way to get some work in tomorrow.
All right, Michelle. All right, thanks, everybody.